إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلوات الله وسلامه عليه أما بعد يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما أما بعد فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله وأحسن الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار ثم أما بعد يا عباد الله. The ulama, they are not like other than them. Al-ulama laysu kaghayrihim. They're not like other than them. قال الله تعالى قل هل يستوي الذين يعلمون والذين لا يعلمون. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says, and say, are they equal, those who know and those who do not know? Are they equal, those who know and those who do not know? Al-ulama laysu kaghayrihim. The ulama, they are not like other than them. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, inside of His noble book, He informs us that the ulama, they are from the shuhud of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That the ulama, they are those who bear witness. They are those who bear witness for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As Allah ta'ala, He says, شهد الله أنه لا إله إلا هو والملائكة وأولو العلم قائما بالقسط. Allah ta'ala, He says what means. And Allah testifies and He bear witness that none has the right to be worshipped in truth but Him. That Allah ta'ala, He bear witness that nothing has the right to be worshipped in truth except for Him. As well does the malaika, they bear witness to this fact. As well as the angels, they also testify to this fact. وَأُولُو الْعِلْمِ. And as well as the people of knowledge, they testify to this fact. قال إمام القرطبي رحمه الله تعالى هذه الآية دليل على أفضل العلم وشرف العلماء. He said that this ayah, it is a proof which establishes the superiority of knowledge and the nobility of the ulama. فإنه لو كان أحد أشرف من العلماء لقرنهم الله تعالى باسمه واسم ملائكة. He says, and if there were another group, if there were others who were more noble than the ulama, then Allah Ta'ala, He would have linked them to His name and with the name of the malaika, meaning that Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, He would have mentioned them in this ayah. If there were those who were more superior than the ulama, and there were those who had more nobility than the ulama, then Allah Ta'ala, He would have mentioned that group instead of the ulama here in this ayah. But Allah Ta'ala, in this ayah, He mentions the ulama. Allah mentions the ulama, that they testify, as well do the malaika, that none has the right to be worshipped in truth except Allah. subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is that which follows the testimony of who? Of Allah Jalla wa Ala, which shows you the superiority of ilm and the superiority of the ulama. And ulama, laysu ka ghayrihim, they're not like other than them. وَأَوْجَبَ اللَّهُ سُبْحَانَهُ وَتَعَالَى طَاعَتَهُمْ. And Allah Ta'ala, He has made it obligatory that they be obeyed. That they be obeyed, meaning that which is halal, that which is ma'roof. قال الله تعالى وَأَطِيعُوا اللَّهَ وَأَطِيعُوا الرَّسُولَ وَأُولُو أَمْرِ مِنْكُمْ. Allah Ta'ala, He says, and obey Allah and obey the messenger and those who are in authority over you. And those who are in authority over you. وقال جابر بن عبد الله أي أهل القرآن والعلم. He said this means, who are those who are in authority over you? He said, then they are the people of the Qur'an, they are the people of knowledge. وقال مجاهد الفقهاء والعلماء. And Mujahid, he said, they are those scholars of fiqh, they are the ulama, the scholars. وقال غيرهما من المفسرين هم العلماء والوزراء. And other than them too, from the scholars of tafsir, they have mentioned that those who are intended by ulul amr, those who are in authority over you, then they are the ulama, they are the scholars, and they are the leaders of the Muslims, the leaders of the lands of the Muslims, the heads of state of the Muslim lands. Then this is who is intended, the leaders of the Muslims and the ulama, and the ulama. وقال إمام ابن قيم رحمه الله تعالى هذا يدل على غاية الفضلهم وشرفهم. He said, and this points to the epitome of their superiority and of their nobility. The epitome of their superiority and of their nobility. Because the ulama, laysu ka ghayrihim. The ulama, they're not like other than them. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He has risen the ulama over the believers. As Allah Ta'ala, He says in His noble book, يَرْفَعِ اللَّهُ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا مِنْكُمْ وَالَّذِينَ أُوتُوا الْعِلْمَ دَرَجَاتٍ. Allah Ta'ala, He says what means? Allah has risen those who have believed from amongst you, and those who have been given knowledge, He has raised them above them in levels. So Allah Ta'ala, He informs us that the believers, they have been risen. They have been risen due to their superiority. They have been risen due to their nobility. But on top of them, they have been risen from amongst them, the ulama, over them, due to their superiority and due to their nobility. And it shows you the high level of the ulama. Allah Ta'ala, He has singled out the ulama as those who have been given the wisdom. As Allah Ta'ala, He says, يُؤْتِ الْحِكْمَةِ مَنْ يَشَاءُ وَمَنْ يُؤْتَ الْحِكْمَةِ فَقَدْ أُوتِيَ خَيْرًا كَثِيرًا. Allah Ta'ala, He says, what means, and Allah has given wisdom, or wisdom has been given to whom He pleases. That He gives the wisdom, the hikmah, to whom He pleases. And whoever is given the wisdom, then verily they have been given much good. خَيْرًا كَثِيرًا. They have been given much good. وَمَا يَذَّكَّرُ إِلَّا أُولُو الْأَلْبَابِ. And Allah Ta'ala, He says, and they do not remember, they are not benefited from the reminder, they do not know except for those who have been given knowledge. Except for those who have been given knowledge. وقال ابن عباس رضي الله تعالى عنهما هي معرفة بالقرآن. قال ابن عباس الحكمة معنى الحكمة المعرفة بالقرآن. That the meaning of hikmah is to have knowledge of the Qur'an, to have understanding of the Qur'an. وقال قتادة ومجاهد الحكمة هي الفقه في القرآن. That the hikmah, it is to have a deep, profound understanding of the Qur'an. That this is the meaning of hikmah. Allah Ta'ala, He says, وَتِلْكَ الْأَمْثَالُ نَضْرِبُهَا لِلنَّاسِ وَمَا يَعْقِلُهَا إِلَّا الْعَالِمِينَ. That those amthila, or that these examples have been put forth, these parables have been put forth for mankind, وَمَا يَعْقِلُهَا إِلَّا الْعَالِمُونَ. And that none will understand them, none will comprehend them except for who? Except for the ulama. Al-alimun. Except for the ulama. Al-ulama, they are the ones who truly fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As Allah ta'ala, He says, إِنَّمَا يَخْشَى اللَّهَ مِنْ عِبَادِهِ الْعُلَمَاء. That verily those who truly fear Allah from His servants, then they are the ulama. So the ulama, لَيْسُوا كَغَيْرِهِمْ. They're not like other than them. They're not like other than them. Having ilm of the deen is a sign, is a alama that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He wants good for you, He intends good for you. As the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he has informed us in a hadith that's mutafaqun alayh. مَنْ يُرِدِ اللَّهُ بِهِ خَيْرًا يُفَقِّهُ فِي الدِّينِ. That whoever Allah wants good for, He gives him understanding of the religion. He gives him understanding of the religion. Ya ibadallah, it is incumbent upon us that we know and we recognize and we acknowledge the superiority of ilm and the superiority of the ulama. It is incumbent upon us that we know, we recognize and we acknowledge the superiority of knowledge and the superiority of the people of knowledge. This is a must, because the ulama, they are from Banu Adam, they are from Bani Adam, they are from the people, they are from the human beings, they are humans. And humans, all of them, they will die. So it is incumbent upon us that we realize their value, we realize their virtue, so that we take advantage of the ilm in which they are carrying in their lifetime. That we take advantage by learning. We take advantage, brothers, come forward. Come forward, inshallah. That we take advantage from learning from the ulama while they are alive, and we reap that opportunity. Because the ulama, they die just as the children of Adam, they die. And the losing of them is not like the losing of other than them. Because the ulama, they're not like other than them. And the losing of the ulama, then it is a musibah. It is a calamity, like that which has just recently has touched us from the calamity of the loss of the Fadilatul Shaykh Al-Allama, Shaykh Zayd Al-Madkhali, rahimahullahu ta'ala, rahmatan wasi'ah. May Allah ta'ala have mercy upon him, an abundance and a magnitude of mercy upon him. The loss of this alim, then this is a great loss. This is a musibah. This is a musibah that is a musibah inside of our deen. The loss of an alim is a musibah inside of the deen. وَهِيَ أَعْظَمْ مِنْ مُصِيبَةٍ فِي الدُّنْيَا. And it is greater than a calamity that has reached us in our worldly life. It is greater than a calamity that has reached us from the worldly life. And this is because of their superiority. فضل العالم على العابد كما قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم فضل العالم على العابد كفضلي على أدناكم. The Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم, he said in his hadith that's been collected by Tirmidhi, that the superiority of the scholar over the worshipper is like the superiority of me, or my superiority over the lowest of you. The superiority of who? The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam on the lowest from you. This is what the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he mentioned, that this is the example of the superiority of the scholar over the worshipper. The Sahaba, they give us some indications so that we understand and we can see clearly why. And Ibn Abbas radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, and this hadith is mawquf, meaning it's from the statements of Ibn Abbas radiyallahu ta'ala anhuma. He said, faqihun wahid, that one scholar of fiqh, one scholar of understanding, deep understanding. And that's what's meant here by faqih. It's not restricted to just those ulama of Islamic jurisprudence, but those scholars who have fiqh in the deen, who have a deep, profound understanding of the deen. He said one scholar with understanding, deep understanding of the religion, ashaddu ala iblis, ashaddu ala iblis, is harder, more severe upon iblis, more severe upon the devil min alf abid, from 1,000 worshippers. One scholar is more severe upon the shaitan than 1,000 worshippers. One scholar is more severe upon shaitan than 1,000 worshippers. Which shows you the understanding, which shows you the level, which shows you the superiority of the ulama. وَقَالَ عُمَرْ رَضِيَ اللَّهُ تَعَالَى عَنْهُ, so that we have more understanding. He said, Maut alf abid, that the death of 1,000 worshippers, أهوَنُ مِن maut عَالِم بَصِير بِحِلَالِ اللَّهِ وَحَرَامِهِ. He said that the death of 1,000 worshippers is lighter than the death of one scholar who has firm knowledge of the halal and the haram of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So that we have more understanding and we understand their level and their superiority. قال Imam Ibn Qayyim وَوَجْهُ قَوْلِ عُمَرْ, he said, in the standpoint of what we understand from the statement of Umar, or the reason why Umar he made this statement, he said, أَنَّ هَذَا الْعَالِمِ, he said, because this scholar, this one scholar, يَهْدِمُ عَلَى إِبْلِيسِ كُلَّ مَا يَبْنِيهِ بِعِلْمِهِ وَإِرْشَادِهِ. He said, because this scholar, he destroys that which Iblis builds. This scholar, he destroys that which is built by the devil by way of his knowledge and by way of his guidelines, by way of his insight. He destroys it. وَأَمَّا الْعَابِدِ, but as far as the worshipper, فَنَفْعُهُ مَقْصُورٌ عَلَى نَفْسِهِ. The worshipper, his benefit is restricted to himself. His benefit is restricted to himself. Ya ibadallah, it is incumbent that we comprehend this with a good comprehension, so that we recognize the value of the ulama, so that we recognize the status of the ulama, so that we see their tremendous virtue, so that we may benefit from them with earnest while they are alive and take advantage. Because once they are gone, and they're leaving, they're dying. This is a calamity that is tremendous. This is a calamity that is worse than the calamities of the dunya. Losing an alim is worse than a man he lost his job, worse than a man he lost his house, worse than a man he lost what he has lost from the worldly affairs. Losing a scholar is more severe upon the ummah than the loss of the worldly things, because the ulama, they're not like other than them. هذا أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم فاستغفروه فإنه هو الغفور الرحيم. بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين ومن تمسك بسنته إلى يوم الدين ثم أما بعد. يا عباد الله, we have to take advantage of the ulama who are still present. We have to benefit from the works of the ulama who have left. We have to become serious about seeking of knowledge, because after we have seen the superiority of the ulama, the virtue of the ulama, when then therefore are the intellects of ourselves, unless we strive to become students of knowledge, unless we strive and we rush in the path of seeking knowledge, so that Allah Ta'ala, He may bless us to become from the ulama. Because there is nothing that you can reach that will be better for you inside of this life from striving and seeking knowledge of the deen of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. There is nothing that we can encourage our children with that will be better than that. But we know the situation and how many of the children, they are encouraged to be doctors, to be engineers, to be physicists or whatever. But how many of the children are being encouraged to be from the scholars of the deen, to be those who teach the Muslims that which is good for them, for those who are rectification for the ummah? How many doctors do we have? How many engineers do we have? How many scientists do we have? How many businessmen do we have? How many business owners do we have? And what is that doing for us as a nation? قال Imam Ibn Qayyim رحمه الله تعالى, he said, لما كان صلاح الوجود بالعلماء, he said, we see that since the case it is that the rectification is in the presence of the ulama. He said, وَلَوْلَاهُمْ, and if it was not for the ulama, كَانَ النَّاسِ كَالْبَهَائِمْ, then the human beings, they would have been like animals. The Shaykh, he says, rahimahullah ta'ala, بَلْ أَسْوَأُ حَالًا, he said, but rather they will be worse situation. He said, if it was not for the ulama, then the people, they will be like animals. He said, no, rather they will be in a worse situation, worse than animals. كَانَ مَوْتُ الْعَالِمْ مُصِيبًا, he said, because in the death of an alim is a calamity. The death of an alim is a calamity. وقال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم in a hadith that is متفق عليه, إن الله لا يقبض العلم انتزاعا ينتزعه من العباد ولكن يقبض العلم بقبض العلماء حتى إذا لم يبق عالما اتخذ الناس رؤوسا جهالا فسئلوا فأفتوا بغير العلم فضلوا وأضلوا. The Prophet ﷺ, he said what means that Allah would not remove the knowledge by ripping it away from the slaves. Allah is not going to remove the knowledge by taking it away from the slaves. The ulama, they mentioned, meaning that those who have memorized, it will not come that Allah will take the knowledge and now they all forget. No. But rather Allah takes the knowledge by the death of the ulama. He takes the knowledge by taking the ulama. The Prophet ﷺ, he said, until there will not remain an alim, until there will not remain a scholar, and then the people, they will take as their leaders those who are ignorant. The people, they will turn to those who are ignorant, because the reality of the situation it is that no matter your profession, no matter how much money you got, and so on and so forth, there are going to come times in your life where it's vital for you to return to the people of knowledge, to ask some questions about your deen. How do you proceed? Did this count? Did it not count? How many times do people have this question? There was a situation. Is this valid? Is it not valid? Is this okay? Is it not okay? Is it acceptable? Is it not acceptable? Is it halal? Is it haram? You need to know the answer. No matter what you are, doctor, engineer, whatever, accountant, whatever, you're going to have to turn to the people of ilm. This is the reality. And if there's no one to turn to because all of the ulama have died, then what will happen? As the Prophet ﷺ told us, then the people, they will take leaders who are ignorant. They will take those who don't know nothing. They will take those who will answer, who they will ask them, and they will answer. They will give fatwa بغير علم, without knowledge. So they will go astray and they will lead others astray. They will go astray and they will lead others astray. Everybody in this situation will be at a loss. It is incumbent that we understand the reality of this situation. This is going to happen because the Prophet ﷺ, he told us it was going to happen. But we as individuals who have sinned, we as individuals who have seen the superiority of ilm, the superiority of the ulama, we should not be of those who want to live to see this day. We should not be from those who want to live to see such a day where there are no ulama. And the people are going to the juhal, to the ignorant ones, and asking them. We should not want to live to see that day, but we should be striving. We should be striving to make sure that that situation don't happen in our lifetime. How do we do that? قال ابن مسعود رضي الله تعالى عنه عليكم بالعلم He said, it is incumbent upon you to stick to the knowledge. That's binding upon you, to stick to the ilm, the knowledge. He said, قَبْلَ أَنْ يَرْفَعْ. He said, before it's taken away. Stick to the knowledge before it is taken away. وَرَفْعُهُ هَلَاكِ الْعُلَمَاءِ. And it's taken away by the death of the scholars. It is taken away by the death of the scholars. It is upon you to stick to the knowledge. Encourage your children to seek knowledge. You yourself seek knowledge. How come if a brother saying that he want to go study in Islamic university, he want to go seek knowledge with the ulama, how come that brother have a hard time getting married? How come the father want to turn him away? Why? What are you looking for? What superiority are you looking for your daughter? What khair do you want for your daughter? You want her to marry the doctor with a big account in a big house? That what you want for her? That's khair for her? Or being married to a man who's a student of knowledge? A man who is, inshallah, eligible to become greater than that, and from the strong students of knowledge, and then from the mashayikh, and so on and so forth. What is better for her? To be married to a big time doctor, or to be married to an alim from the ulama? Don't you know that Allah Ta'ala will put the family together inside the akhirah? The family members who go to the Jannah, they will be together. They will not be separated. They will be together. So what do you want for your daughter? Except that you should want for her a high place in the Jannah. A great place in the Jannah. High. Right? That's what you should want for your children. Correct? You think she'll have a better shot getting that? With a doctor? Or with an alim? You think she'll have a better shot getting that? With a scientist? Or with an alim? A scholar? What do you think? Let us listen to see what Abdullah ibn Mas'ud radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, he said. He went on and he said, وَالَّذِي نَفْسِ بِيَدِهِ لَيُوَدَّنَّ الرِّجَالِ قُتِلُوا فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ أَنْ يَبْعَثَهُمُ اللَّهُ الْعُلَمَاءَ لِمَا يَرَوْنَ مِنْ كَرَامَتِهِمْ. He said, because by the one who my soul is inside of his hands, verily those men who die in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they will tremendously wish that they have been risen as ulama, because of what they will see the ulama receive from nobility, from honor, from status, from level, because of the reward of the ulama in the akhirah. Those who die fi sabilillah will wish they was ulama. So how else can we put it, ya ibad? What's getting with that? If the mujahid wish he was an alim, what do you think that doctor gonna be like? What do you think that scientist gonna be like? What do you think that IT man gonna be like? What do you think that business owner gonna be like? If the one who dies fi sabilillah will wish he was an alim. So what do you want for yourself? What do you want for your kids? If you want for them the best, then the best extends beyond this life. So encourage them to learn. Encourage them to learn. But here's the kicker. Learning just don't come out of nowhere. It's not going to happen just because you want it to. Here's where it comes in now. Here's when you can play your part. It doesn't escape anyone, except that they know that the place of learning, as we mentioned and continue to mention and will continue to mention bi'idhnillahi ta'ala, is where? Is the masjid. So your striving in the establishment of a masjid will help towards those ends, is a means. Making sure that the masjid has what it needs, so as to employ those who are qualified to teach. Those are from the means. Encouraging and teaching everyone in the family. Having classes that are geared towards children. Having classes that are geared towards the adolescents. Having classes that are geared toward the teenagers. And those that are geared for the adults, on everyone's level. From the studying of Aqidah, from the memorization of the Qur'an, memorizing the ahadith, learning the Arabic language, so on and so forth, from those knowledges, those ilms that are linked to knowledge. Mustalah hadith, usul fiqh, qawa'id al-fiqhiyya, so on and so forth. How are you going to get that? And the masjid is not even established. How are you going to get that? And it's beyond our ability to bring in those qualified to teach. Do you think we would get there by the blind leading the blind? The ignorant leading the ignorant? You think we're going to get anywhere like that? And فَاقِدُ شَيْءٍ لَا يُعْتِيهِ, the one who is deprived of something, he does not have the ability to get it. Being of a community that has yearly Hajj and Umrah, this is from that which strengthens us as individuals, and it will also be an aid, it will also be a means towards these ends. Because now, when we make the Umrah, when we make the Hajj, we can bring with us the youth. So as opposed to them trying to apply online, now they can hand their paperwork in person. They can hand it in person, in this school, in that school, in this university, in that university, so on and so forth. This will be an aid, it will be an assistance. Not just for this community, but for the Muslims as a whole, for the Ummah. Look at the benefit that the ulama they have upon the Muslims. Even those who have died how many years ago, we're still benefiting. Wouldn't you like that? Wouldn't you want that? Someone from your family will be from those levels? Wouldn't you want that? Remember the level that the ulama they will receive in the Jannah. And remember that the family won't be separated. They won't be separated. Think about that. And let that translate into some real action. Bithnillahi ta'ala. Because it only goes to benefit us. Contemplate ya ibad wa aqimus salah.